Raiden, have you been day drinking?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We're gonna get started in 1 second. Triple check to make sure that all the volume is up this time. I said 4 times the charm. I'm not messing up 4 times in a row.
Raiden, have you been day drinking?
25 seconds, get in the door. It's good to see everybody in the building, man. Welcome to the True Seekers Live podcast, everybody. Happy evening to y'all. I don't even know what day it is. What's today? Today's Friday. Happy Friday evening. Shout out to all my people that got paid today. We're going to go ahead and roll this thing on in, man, because we got a lot to talk about. This is a very serious topic. I didn't even want to, of course I wanted to talk about this topic, but I really didn't want to talk about this topic because of the implications that it carries. This is a really heavy thing, you know. This is a really heavy burden. But first and foremost, once again, thank you for joining me tonight on the True Seekers Live podcast, and we're talking about Fresh and Fit. We're going to get right on into this. I'm not going to show that many news articles. If you haven't heard about this story, then you're pretty much living under a rock right now. So I know that everybody's heard of this story. But as you come into the building, as you come into the live stream, make sure you like the live stream. And a preface to the message, once again, as I always do, this is going to be very offensive materials, but this is not to get you to get delved back into the gender war. This does have a purpose, and you will see the purpose of this probably around halfway through about 3/4 mark of my monologue here. Let's go ahead and play this video. Why are we talking about Fresh and Fit again? You all know why we're talking about Fresh and Fit. You saw it in the thumbnail. You know what these guys are all about. But they've taken it a step up and up and up and up and up. And this is just absolutely insane now. But I've got good news because the rest of the world is starting to get a hold and an idea of just how destructive a good portion of the men online and in society are, and how destructive they're trying to become. So let's go ahead and watch this really quickly, okay?
It's funny, I never used that one, bro.
What about the black dating app called Black?
Oh, it's funny, I never used that one, bro. But hey, man.
I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
LaQuisha.
Yeah, like me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that.
Man.
We ain't night riders.
Nah,
so
bro, I'm good.
You know, sometimes if they're, you know, red bone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
So that's the topic of discussion at hand. This video was filmed on their Patreon. Now, if you don't know what Patreon is a website where you can, and I'll show it to you really quickly, put content behind a paywall. So this is Patreon right here. You put content behind a paywall. After you put this content behind a paywall, it's a lot more uncensored because that's the nature of Patreon. So you get a Patreon account, you create it, you put content behind a paywall, and then once you do that, people will sign up. You can have a recurring income stream, as this thing says right here. You can also take back creative control. That's one of the things that Patreon prides itself on, right? Take back creative control. You can speak the way you want to speak. You get your freedom of speech back, right? If you didn't know any better, you would think that these guys are like severe, hardcore, alt-right, like QAnon type people, right? Oh, I need the freedom of speech. They're trying to take my freedom of speech. We should be able to talk about anybody and say whatever you want. No, you can't do that anymore. But that's the pull. That's the idea of Patreon, right? That you can get on. Your freedom of speech is absolutely still autonomous, and you can get on and everything is good to go. So they filmed this video, and they decided, why am I looking at that? I accept. F it. I accept the cookies. What are cookies? Can somebody email me and tell me what cookies are on the website, please? I hate seeing that. I just click accept every time, but I have no idea what it is. So they go and they create this Patreon. They create this, this members only site because they want to be able to have a different level of monologue on YouTube, on Patreon than they can on YouTube. They want to be able to say things about women and about black women particularly that they can't say on YouTube because they know if they say it on YouTube, right? Before taking it over, if they say it on YouTube, certain things on YouTube, you can get struck down, which is what people are trying to do right now, right? Ladies are trying to get their channel struck down right now as we speak. As a matter of fact, if we just go ahead and take another look at Reddit, Reddit is absolutely crazy right now. Reddit is insane. I'm sorry, not Reddit. Twitter is insane right now. I've been on Twitter. And it's absolute madness. Whistle Down says it's black men like Fresh and Fit is why black women don't want to F with brothers anymore. I don't want to hear about it. Ain't all STFU. And so why I'm bringing this up is because, once again, my mission isn't to get you in or keep you in the gender war. It's rather to make you aware as a woman, as a black woman, as a woman in general, that there are men in this society in this day and age that just do not care about your protection. There's no chivalry anymore. It's just a different day and time, right? And so I'm making these videos just to kind of bring the announcement to black women, to black men, to women, white men, to everybody alike, that even though it is bad, if we just kind of scroll down a bit more, we have a black guy here named Someone's Son. He says, why do Fresh and Fit still exist? Making men look horrible. That's a black man right here, right? It's a black man. Captain New says, disrespecting black women in front of me will get you beat up. Don't give damn what you prefer, but if you're down with sweet chocolate for some melanin deficient motherfucker, there he gets racist himself. So here we go getting racist himself, right? Melanin deficient. There's nothing wrong if you're white, you don't have melanin. But I wanted to bring out the fact that Captain New is a black guy who is willing to protect online the image of black women, right? Hassan 7 said it's always the tethers who stay undermining black Americans. These two from Barbados and Sudan have a long record of disrespecting black women. Why do they still have a platform? Fresh and Fit, more like fresh shit trash asses. Hassan 7 is the guy's name who said that right there, right? So there have been brothers, and I've been keeping a pretty good close eye on things. And there have been a lot of people that are speaking out right now. A lot of people are speaking out right now. A lot of good brothers are speaking out right now. A lot of good guys. Here's another one right here. A guy named Bino Brown. Another black gentleman says Fresh and Fit podcast is a bunch of bozo, nerdy niggas that got money and now want to downplay women, right? And that's pretty much what they are, exactly, right? That's exactly what they are. It's exactly what they are. Paid for by the rest of the incels like them that are too much of a losers, too much of wimps in real life. They're losers, right? And the actual losers in real life, they can't get women. And so now what they do is to kind of combat all the years of trauma that they've had at the hands of women that rejected them. And in this case, since they're black men, they're going to be rejected by predominantly black women because that's just their proximity. That's the proximity effect, right? If you're around black people, you're going to date black people most likely. If you're around white people, you're going to date white people most likely. It doesn't matter what race you are or what person you are the community that you place yourself and surround yourself around with. So for most of us, we're going to have, if we do talk about grievances, particularly of dating, we're going to have grievances with the same race of people because we as a people are creatures of habit. We are communities of habit, right? We like people that are like-minded, like-spirited, that even look like us, right? So we've talked about racism versus gender bias in the past, and we've talked about gender bias being something where if you walk into a job, sometimes subconsciously that person who might not be the same race as you, who might be the hiring manager, might not favor you as much. Does that mean that he's racist? No. Does that mean that he wants to hit you over the head if he sees you in a dark alley in the middle of some Buckville, Texas, in the middle of, in 2 o'clock in the morning? No, doesn't mean that necessarily, but it does mean that intrinsically, internally, there's something inside of us that naturally drifts towards other people that represent and have the values that we share and represent, or that we feel are valuable inside of a person, right? So they say a lot of the times that you choose a woman that's like your mother, or a woman will choose a guy that's like her father, or she's supposed to, right? That's just kind of one of the old adages to prove that point there, right? So you have racial bias and then you have racism. And a lot of people get the racism confused because a lot of people don't understand that racial bias could be interpreted as racism, but it's not racism, right? It's just the way that things are. Right? Just like when Barack Obama used to walk through the line and shake people's hands, and then there was a meme, right? Barack walked up to one of the black dudes, right? President Obama walked up to one of the black guys in Congress and he dapped him up, right? I'll show y'all that meme right now. I'll show you the meme. Does that mean that President Obama is racist? Absolutely not. But inside of Obama's mind, when he saw another black person on that line, he was like, oh, yeah. Hey, that's what's up. Hey, we're good to go, right? We're good to go. Let me try and find the video really quickly. And I know they made it a a Comedy Central type of thing, right? Let me see. Hold on one second. I'm trying to watch the audio to make sure it doesn't get there's no audio that's gonna get messed up in this. 1 second. All right. Now I'm not gonna find the video because I'm not gonna be able to find it right now. So I'm just gonna skip it. If you just search hard enough, and listen, Obama, he hugged and dapped up not just black people, but it's just to prove a point, right? It's just to prove a point. He's shaking hands and he sees a black guy. He's like, my nigga, right? So it's natural. But what Fresh and Fit have done is something that is not natural. Let me show you another video really quickly here. Let's watch this, and I want you to see something because, of course, what people are doing now is they're pinging the Fresh and Fit YouTube channel. Since I don't know if this video was on YouTube. I think it was only on Patreon. Maybe it was on YouTube. I don't know. I'm sure it was on YouTube. I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point. It's irrelevant, right? But what people are doing now is they're trying to get Fresh and Fit's channel taken down, and guess what? It's having an immediate effect. You know how I know it's having an immediate effect? I'll show you how it's having an immediate effect. This is starting to really get to them now. Absolutely 10,000, 10 million%. I'll show you why. You remember when Homeboy sold his YouTube channel? What is it? What was his name? Ramil? Remember when Ramil sold his YouTube channel? Let me show you something else, okay? Let me show you something else. What's this dude's name? Oh yeah. So check this out. Dang it, I keep moving my camera, so forgive me, y'all. All right. There we go. Myron has recently started an account called Fedit, right? My guesstimation is that Myron started this account because obviously YouTube is starting to get pretty volatile as far as the Fresh and Fit account right here. So he just started this account called Fedit. If you don't know, Myron right there used to be a police officer. Actually, he used to be a federal agent for the Narcotics Association or the DEA or something like that. So yeah, the Fresh and Fit guy right there, used to be a law enforcement officer. Nothing wrong, respectable job. Probably a great job and a very invigorating job down in Miami, right? But he created this account called Fedit. And the reason that he created this Fedit account is because I see, and I think eventually long term, he's going to understand that channel is going down or that the money is getting ready to be extremely cut, right? Because people are reporting the Fresh and Fit channel. They're trying to get them taken down now. Everybody around the world is literally trying to get them taken down now. Celebrities are starting to hop on board now. And the biggest comments I'm starting to see all over TikTok is that I had never heard of these people until I saw this video by Asian Doll. Who is Asian Doll? Well, let's go ahead and get into Asian Doll. Asian Doll is a rapper. Asian Doll is a rapper who used to date a man by the name of King Von. Okay, King Von is now deceased. He was killed. This is Asian Doll right here. She went on the Fresh and Fit podcast. This is her quote that she said, "I was so calm yesterday because I knew what he was trying to do. Mr. Freddy Cougar was finna get beat down Elm Street off camera. I'm thankful for the growth and self-control. I'm happy I defended another black woman because he was treating her so bad up." Let's go ahead and watch that video of what she's talking about right now. And then we're going to ask why Cuban Doll is on the Fresh and Fit podcast to begin with. What's the purpose of this merger between the Manosphere and hip hop? Why is that even a possibility? How is that a possibility? This is gonna get interesting. This is gonna get interesting. What's the damn video? Damn it! Hold on 1 second. I'm looking at y'all's comments, but I'm not looking at it right now. I'm sorry. Yeah, man. Did I delete the damn? Hold on a second. All right, I'm trying to see if I deleted the video. I think I did. All right, so give me 1 second. I'm going to find this video. It's going to show really, I could just explain it to you. All that happens is Myron pretty much is getting on some kind of weird little tangent. He gets checked by Asian Doll, and she's like, "Why are you so mean?" He says, she says, "You're so mean," or something like that. And then, of course, he flies off the handle, right? He flies off the handle, and he says a whole bunch of other different types of stuff, yada, yada, yada. You can get the F out. And she's, for all intents and purposes, Asian Doll is like a straight gangster, dude. A straight gangster. She's about that life, And so she was just like, it's whatever, nigga, you're not going to bother me type deal, right? And she pretty much took control of the situation. And so a lot of people were like, damn, you took control of that situation. You did good. You did your thing, right? Why is she on there in the first place, though? Well, I don't know. That's a question that we might ask in a little bit. I might answer, rather, in a little bit. Let me keep going with this video. Let me keep going with this video because I'm sure I'm not going to find. Oh, there it is. Of course. All right, so I found it. Here we go, guys. Sorry about that. I hope y'all enjoying the new visuals too. You know, I'm trying to make it a little bit nicer for y'all. So let's check this out.
Torching me.
Hold on. Excuse me?
Doll during a recent taping. Here's some of what went. So recently, Myron Gaines of the Fresh and Fit podcast came under fire for being disrespectful to his guest, rapper Asian Doll, during a recent taping. Here's some of what went down.
I don't even know who she is, so I don't care. Simple.
Damn.
Guys, sidebar conversation.
That's Asian doll in the middle right here.
Please.
What I look for in a man in
mean
club
ass
that's
nigga.
like approaching me.
Hold on. Excuse me?
You mean?
I'm not mean at all.
Okay, I don't care.
Have you been here the whole time?
No.
All right, then. So you don't know what was
I
happening,
don't
right?
give a fuck.
Okay, then.
I don't know why, but that attitude right there. That's just sexy to me for some reason. I know that's so sexy to me because I know that she's justified. You know what I mean? I know that she's justified. She's like, nigga, yo, that's just so sexy to me for some reason. Hey, it is what it is.
So, how you gonna come on somebody's show, not know what go down, and say, "Oh, you're mean"?
It don't matter. I can say what I want.
Okay, well, you can get the fuck off the show,
Freedom
too.
of speech. I don't give
Get
a fuck.
off the show too.
man.
That was aggressive, but it got me interested in seeing more about what Myron and
These
his
niggas so
co-host
weak,
Walter
bro.
Weeks are all about. Well, here's some of what I found.
I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
So that's so obviously this is why he's speaking to her, right? Because they're not going to talk to any other race of women like that. Well, they will, obviously. They have before, but they have this propensity to do it with black women a lot more, right? They have this propensity to do it with black women a lot more. So let's pay attention to this video. We'll keep going.
LaQuisha.
Yeah, like
We already watched that part.
I'm so sick and tired of fools like these two speaking negatively about dark-skinned black women to this point to imitate.
Dang it, it's in another video. All right, so I got to find one other video before I go on for y'all really quickly. All right. I've got literally like 20 links up right now. And just to give you an idea, y'all, how stupid this is, just, and I hear something in the background. Fuck. What the fuck? Hold on one second, y'all. Oh, it's my beat that I got playing. I was like, what's that sound? It's my beat that I got playing in the background. Yo, I'm about to turn this beat off. Tripping. Now, just to give you an idea how stupid this is, right? You can have a preference for who you want to date. There's nothing wrong with having a preference for you wanting to date a certain type of person. In theory, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, essentially, in my opinion, there still is a bit of racism with having a preference for who you want to date, especially in my opinion, if it's outside of a certain type of image that you represent. I think that's a little weird and that's a little off. In my opinion, depending on what reason you're going for that person for. Right? So it's nuanced with everything. But my biggest thing is this, to be able to say something like, oh, well, I don't want to date this type of person because they're this or because they're that. And this goes for divestment. This goes for anybody, right? This goes for anybody. There are rules, absolutely. There are exceptions to rules and there's nuance, right? 10 million%. 10 million%, right? There's nothing wrong with having a preference for who you want to date. I understand that and I get that. We all have different things that we like in people. We all have different traits that we like in people, right? But when you specifically, publicize insults against other people based off of uncontrollable, unchangeable aspects or characteristics on somebody, that's when it becomes racist. So let me paint a picture for you really quickly. And just to give you an idea of how stupid saying something like I don't date black women is, do you think that Fresh and Fit wouldn't immediately marry Sabrina? This is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful women in the world, if not the most beautiful woman. Quite frankly, I think she's the most beautiful woman in the world. That's just my opinion. Don't jump down my throat. The girl's perfect, all right? She's effing perfect, man. Like, just perfect, right? Very few people in the world look like this, right? Very few people. She is the most beautiful. And so race does not play a part in beauty intrinsically. Genetics play a part in beauty intrinsically. You can get very lucky. You can get very unlucky. That's just the nature of the game. It's just the nature of the game, right? But once again, what Fresh and Fit are doing right now is something that hip-hop has always been doing. It's something that our culture has always been doing. It's something that black people have always been doing, which is that they've been trying to elevate themselves out of themselves or from themselves. It's something that black people, that black males specifically, majoritively, have a very, very, very hard time realizing and accepting. As I see, and I just kind of look in the culture, is that we try and elevate ourselves amongst ourselves, right? We try and find the very best, and this is natural, but we try and find the very best of us using things that we can't change or that really aren't that important. Using status symbols, using identities, using ways to kind of pick people apart that really doesn't have anything to do with the overall mission and the overall goal of things, like being light-skinned, right? Like being popular, like having swag, like doing this. We have a culture that fundamentalizes and prioritizes making intangible characteristics that are not important in the least bit more important than anything, right? More important than anything. This is why there's so much hatred inside of the black community, right? Now, going back to this preference thing versus racism, if I was to walk into a bar right now, if I was to walk into a job right now, if I was to walk into any place right now, sit at that restaurant, sit at that cashier's table, sit at that whatever it might be and ask for service, right? And the manager walks out, right? And says, hey, you know what? I would serve you, sir. I really would. You look like a nice guy. You really do. You look like a sweet guy. You look like a really cool dude. Like your dreadlocks, man. But unfortunately, I got some other people over here that aren't that I need to take care of, and so I might be back, but I might not be back. But if I don't come back, then you got this restaurant across the street that you can always go to, and they might serve you, they might not, right? But here I don't. And if I look across the way and if I look across the aisle and they're all white, it's going to be very obvious and apparent to me, right? That no matter how good of a person I am, ultimately it wasn't my characteristics that ended up doing me in. All right? Now that's not racial bias. That's called racism. Whenever you start to negatively impact somebody's life, right? Whenever you start to negatively adverse somebody's situations, if you will, right? Instead of just maybe leaving them be, is when it starts to become bad. When does prejudice turn into racism? Well, maybe prejudice was that thought that person had in their head for that person, and then the racism was actually using the car to run them over, right? They're two different concepts. They're one and the same, but the action followed through either action, thought, or words themselves is what converts the mind or the idea of prejudice or biasness into actual racism, into an actual action, right? So it's a fine line there. It's a very fine line there. On one end, it's okay to think whatever you want to think about somebody. You can think whatever you want to think about somebody inside of your mind. But the second that you put into action what you're feeling, you're going to be judged for it. You're going to be judged by a judge. That's why we call it judging, right? Let's continue on for a second here. Let's continue on. Now, they did an apology, all right? They did an apology video here. They might play and say the same thing again, so I'm not exactly sure. Give me 1 second. We're going to watch this entire thing, and we're going to listen to the apology as well, because we're going to kind of run through it. So give me 1 second.
Which are traits of feminine women. What's her gram?
What's your Instagram
Dude,
again?
you
got
are
a lot of love today.
That's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie, just keeping it real. I don't really date black girls. it's not because like most black girls are like annoying. How to put this? Ratchet, and they don't.
Fresh said this nigga. He already knew he was in trouble.
No, like most black girls are like annoying. How to put this? Ratchet.
Yo, imagine just being that chick, man.
And they don't know how to like be
Carry
reserved.
themselves.
You're like the complete opposite.
You are not the
props to you.
stereotype.
Yeah,
You are not the
You
stereotype.
are not the same. That's
Aw.
awesome.
So, yeah, so we'll give you that compliment too.
What's
It's
your
a pleasure.
Instagram?
It's Crystal.
What about
Well, I guess that's just
Not really.
her talking about her Instagram right there. Let's go ahead and get to the apology video really quickly. The apology videos, damn near worse than everything else. So here's the apology video right here. And I was too lazy to actually find the video, so shout out to the Urban Politics guy, because I just straight up yanked it from his channel. Urban Politics on YouTube, shout out to him. You're watching me watch a video of a guy watching a video. How's that for The Matrix?
what we want. We say a lot of controversial stuff.
We speak our truth.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a big reason why we've been able to build the following that we have. We are not politically correct. We don't care about what people necessarily think. We say we want. Now, here's the other thing. We make fun of all races on this podcast.
White,
okay?
black.
White, black, whatever.
Asian.
We bring white girls in all the time. Hey, do you like the BBC? Hey, oh yeah, you're a Knight Rider, ha ha ha, whatever. You know, we make fun of Hispanics, we make fun of black people, we make fun of white people, we make fun of everybody. Hell, yesterday we had some white guys in here who were making fun of them. Right? Hey, we got some white.
What is it that that we always joke about racist white people saying? Be like, oh, I got a white friend. Man, I was just with my white friend. I'm with my black friend yesterday. Right? It's like a telltale sign. Like, bruh, you know what I mean? It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Even though it's not really a telltale sign, we joke about that, right?
Bitches in the house.
Yeah, we said every nigga needs a white guy in the background.
Yeah, like we make
It's like-
jokes on everybody.
Yeah.
This is the reality right now. We live in a politically correct, pussy society that can't take jokes and gets triggered by everything. If you make a joke, people get mad. You're a colorist thing too. When it comes to dating and your personal preferences,
It's
no
an
one
issue.
bats an eye. When women say I want a man that's 6 feet tall, makes a certain amount of money, blah, 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 those are considered preferences. But if I say, hey man, I don't date black girls like that. Oh, God!
You hate black.
You see, so the problem is, and the tough thing about this, and the bad thing about this manosphere, and why they're trying to get this element of manosphere merged with hip hop, so they can get this, you know, taken to the hearts and the souls of the next generation of kids, is that they wrap it around this, you know, this they enshroud this toxicity in the form of being a solution, right? In the form of being trying to understand why the world is so unjust in their acknowledgement for failing to understand how difficult society is now, yada, yada, yada. And they try and play off of people who have been either experiencing life through a bad series of circumstances and choices based off of their own actions. They're trying to play into the emotions of people who just aren't doing well dating right now. They're trying to play into the emotions of people who just are not emotionally healthy people and do not have radical thinking and thought process based off of adverse situations in life. And so when they hear something like, yeah, society you can't just take a joke, yada, 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 it plays into people who are emotionally and mentally sick, right? So like the Adam 22 guy, right? We were talking about Adam 22 yesterday or 2 days ago. He had a tweet that said F the kids, right? So the Whack 100, the rapper guy, asked him, what do you mean by F the kids, bro? What did you mean by that tweet when you sent it in 2012 or 2016 or whatever? And his response was to apologize online by saying the internet was a different place back then. It was a joke. Why is it that we're always trying to, and so they try and enshroud it in this very, very moral type of identity that, oh, you know, so people are so just they're just out to get everybody and nobody can just be themselves. And why is it that, and that's not it at all. Nobody's trying to keep you from being yourself, my nigga. Nobody's trying to keep you from being yourself, but you can't go around saying that you want to F kids. Well, I don't see why everybody has a big problem with it. Why can't we just say that and this, and that? You want to know why it's a big problem when you say when you say like Knight Rider, a term like a Knight Rider or something like that. When you say Shaniqua and you say things like that, that might not even bother as much, right? The Shaniquas, and I get that, blah, blah, blah. We get the stereotype joking of black women's names and stuff like that, right? I understand that. I get that stereotype. I understand it. Is it right? No, of course it's not. But I get that. But when you start making up concepts and words and terminologies like Knight Rider, I never heard Knight Rider. I'm in the South, yo. I'm in Texas. Now, I never heard the term Knight Rider before. That's pretty much like saying straight up nigger. If I'm being quite honest with you, I don't do Knight Riders. I mean, the first three letters are damn near the same, to be honest with you. Obviously, they are, N-I-G, right? That when I hear I don't do Knight Riders, I envision somebody say I don't date niggers. That's just what I naturally hear, right? And let me bring up another point really quickly, because I know a lot of people are going to ask, and let me go back to this video before I even get to this point. Let me play a little bit more of this video, and I'm going to get back to my point, because next thing you know, I'll be talking for an hour and a half.
Black women.
How dare you?
You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
My mom's black. Your mom's black.
Yeah.
My sister's black. Like, bro, we just have a preference.
If we hated black women, would we bring African American women and black women on the show?
Okay, but
all the time.
the question.
Let me finish.
Okay. Whether that's your preference or not, like, what is the issue with black women? Especially like,
there's none.
Are you a black man?
I love them.
Yeah, we don't have issue with
I ain't
them
gonna
at all.
lie.
Are you black?
I love
My
black
parents are
girls.
from Sudan, so yes, I would consider myself
African.
black.
Well, you're black, right?
Yeah.
I'm so
be
black.
Spanish.
Yo, apparently
You
I'm.
could be.
You could be Dominican.
But like,
Because that's what I'm used to.
Cash,
It's not because I hate black women. And mind you, my mom would always be like, "Yo, Walter, why didn't you bring a black girl home?" It's because I don't want to. It's not I hate black women. It's like I just don't want to. So that's my preference.
You were chasing
okay,
your
now
first
let him
There
explain
you
why he don't
Well, I
prefer
mean-
black women.
With all-
I'm just curious.
No, it's fine.
I like that.
With all due respect, I don't have to explain myself. I'm just gonna keep it like that. Like,
Period.
Like just like no one questions a woman when she says I like this and that.
You know the bad thing about this, yo? You know the bad thing about this is that obviously like normal people can see that niggas like Myron and everybody else, like normal people can see that these dudes are lame, like these dudes are just weird, just weird. And there's nothing wrong with being a lame. Listen, I'm lame. I'm a nerd. You know what I mean? I'm a huge nerd. These dudes are like off, right? Mentally off. Something is very, 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 very wrong, right? Very, 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 very wrong. Once again, this is why we're doing this. And shout out to Urban Politicians. Sorry, I said his name was Urban Politics. Shout out to everybody, all the mainstream people that have been kind of digging in on Manosphere. Shout out to everybody because I love seeing everything going on right now. I love seeing that they're creating new channels. That lets me know that the money is absolutely going down. Miami is not a cheap place. I feel I'm going to have to talk about this coming up here in a little bit, and it's kind of the, the women really even partaking in this entire, thing or whatever. And the question that I'm asked all the time, and the question that's kind of brought up to me, and I've had a few emails that have been written to me as well of whether or not I would actually talk about this as a topic, and it's challenging. It's going to be a very challenging topic to talk about, but it's just how much role that some women might have in the the calling the Kevin or the whatever it might be, because my goal is to try and get us all to unplug from this war, right? This metaphorical online battle that everybody finds themselves in, or that they're just now hearing about. You know what I mean? This is going to continue to grow at this point. People are every day waking up and hearing about gender wars and this and that, right? So I'm trying to bring people out of it, right? But at the same time, I have to talk about it a little bit, because just like people are hearing about Fresh and Fit for the first time through Asian Doll, a lot of her fans heard about Fresh and Fit for the first time, right? They have to also hear about these types of messages. They got to hear about our channel. They got to hear about, everybody else that does different types of content that, rebuts this, right? That rebuts this. And also, I want to also say another really big thing. I wanted to show y'all the black guys that had legitimate comments. I want to show y'all the black dudes like Urban Politicians who are out here actually not going with the BS, not going with the effery, not letting Fresh and Fit talk badly about women that look like them and their mothers and this and that. There are black guys legitimately out here, and I want to make sure I start showing those points and showing those guys like that out there a lot more too, because the negative side of it is that and the reason why I don't just go all the way in on black guys anymore is because I understand that there are black guys out there, and if I keep going in all the way on black guys, then we will lose a few of the good black guys that are out there. And so it is a political game. It's a very political game, because you have to teeter-totter on this fine line, this line that's like, it's moving 24/7. It's constantly moving, and you always gotta figure out where things are going and where things are heading, and how you can get everybody to understand the position that they need to play versus the position that they're actually playing in the content that they're taking in right now, right? So everybody's attacking the Manosphere right now. Well, if everybody's attacking the Manosphere, then that lets me know that a nation divided can't prosper. Right now, it's divide and conquer. If people are attacking the Manosphere, then what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and form relationships, and I am, with YouTubers, with guys who are in the hip-hop industry. I have a lot of stuff getting ready to come out in a little bit, so y'all pay attention. Hip-hop podcast shows and everything getting ready to come out that I'm going to be a part of. And I'm starting to form very strategic alliances with people, because as we have this momentum going against Fresh and Fit, going against the Manosphere, going against everything like that, yada, 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 we got to be able to ring in the good brothers that are out there, even if there's only a few of them. Even if it's 1 in 100 good brothers, there has to be some sort of message for them, for black men out there, for guys out there that might be going through it, white, black, Asian, Latino, whatever it might be, to put aside your pride, to put aside your ego, and to get rid of the false doctrines and the false teachers that are going to lead you off of a cliff, that are going to keep you single for the rest of your life. This goes with divestment, and this goes with Manosphere guys, right? This goes for white people, this goes for black people, this goes for whatever you want, right? To understand that well, I can't say that. I have to be very careful. Let me not say that. I haven't read any comments right now, so hopefully y'all can hear me good and everything. Let me check my volume. Yeah, we're coming in clear. Everything should be audibly clear right now. Hope y'all enjoying the background, the little space background we got. Hair's a little messed up. Yo, the green screen is so tough to work. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard, yo. Green screen ain't no joke. So let me know. Y'all let me know how I like it. I'm going to show y'all one other video as well. Before I get to the comments, let me just show y'all this video. F it. This is the No Jumper podcast. Once again, Fresh and Fit and No Jumper and Fresh and Fit and the Manosphere are all starting to do, the Manosphere and hip-hop are starting to blend right now because obviously, once again, hip-hop, has always been talking about effing B words since the 80s, right? And red bones, yellow bones since the 80s, right? Let's listen to this.
Use that one, bro, but hey, man. I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man. Look, we should. Yeah, like, me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that. Man. We ain't night riders. Nah, so bro, I'm good.
Now, keep in mind, keep in mind, Fresh and Fit, Kevin Samuels, yada, yada, yada. They were all on that. They all hung out in Miami together. They were all on the podcast together. They were all everything, yada, yada, yada. So Adam here, the white gentleman, and then Yuri, the Jewish gentleman here, is now looking at AD, the Compton Blood member here over there, and then looking at House Phone, the Crip member here from LA. In response, what are you going to do for your boys, right? Because these are your homeboys. You want to know something? You'll never hear a white man saying, I don't date white women. You will never hear a single white man say some stupid shit like that out of their mouth. Not a single white man would ever say some stupid, ignorant, coon-like shit like that out of their mouth. But you know who would say some shit that I don't date women that look like me, that look like my mom? You know the only race of people that does that shit?
Redbone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark.
This is the niggas y'all been capping for?
I'm saying, bro.
What?
Bro.
Now, we're not going to mention names for certain reasons.
Here's the other one.
Which are traits of feminine women. What's her gram? What's your Instagram?
That's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie, just keeping it real. I don't really date black girls.
Oh.
No, because like most black girls.
Fresh just said that?
How to put this, ratchet.
Wow. So yeah, as
I can't stand by that one.
If you've ever met a black woman before, you can probably guess that this is not a very popular opinion.
As a man who loves black women.
That's AD saying as a man who loves black women, right? As a man who loves black women, right? But just a few months ago, AD was wearing a suit sitting right across from Kevin Samuels. Just a month, not even a month ago, they were all in Miami partying together. So do things just magically change all of a sudden? And this is why I say, this is the real damage and this is the real harm. Because the same thing that happened with Abba and Preach worked with Fresh and Fit. Now they have a falling out. The same thing that happened with a lot of these guys in the Manosphere, a lot of these, whatever it might be, they work together, they have a falling out. They realize something crazy happens, right? Just like I had with some divestment content creators. You work with them and you end up falling out because you realize that these niggas are crazy. Crazy. And they'll lead you and your people right off a cliff if you let them. Absolutely insane. But by the time you realize it, you're sitting here looking stupid like AD, like, oh no, I don't go for that. I don't go for that. But you're still drunk from the bottle of booze that you bought in VIP with them.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Nigga, this nigga is dark himself. How you gonna say I'm not a dark? Like,
he's from Barbados, isn't he?
How you gonna say that though?
There's some people who have preferences. They may say, "Oh, I like foreign women." Or
Preferences. If I walk into, I don't know, anywhere. Let's just say I'm going to get a job. I was out to eat, right? I'm going to get a job. A white guy's in the office, and a black guy's in the office. I'm in the office. Our resumes are the exact same. Down to our GPA, the college that we graduated from, everything's the exact same. right? He picks the white guy, and he's a white boss. In your mind, in everybody's mind, even white people's mind, everybody's gonna walk out of that building with the thought that he didn't pick me because I'm black. Everybody. Now, he might say, he might have a legitimate reason. He might not even have to give his reason. Is it racism? Is it preference? Why am I bringing that up? Is it racism or is it preference? If I don't get the job and everything's the exact same, is that racism? Let me see y'all's answers. I want to hear y'all's answers. Sorry, I'm not looking at the comments. Oh, yo, I don't even have the dashboard up. Is it even streaming right now? It should be streaming. Let me see. Oh, it is streaming. Wow, that's crazy. It can stream without being in the actual live dashboard. That's pretty cool. All right, let's look at y'all's comments now. Thank you for the $5 super chat. For whoever sent the $5 super chat, I love you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Is that racist? Hi, Gal. Thank you, THT. What was the question? Batty Gal says, is it racist if a white guy is getting hired for a job and a black guy, or if a white guy's interviewing for a job and a black guy's interviewing for a job, right? And the white guy gets the job. Everything's the exact same. GPA is the same. Resume is the same. Tishreni says it's both. It's racist and it's prejudiced. Okay, it's interesting. Learning IT says, cool background, THT. I appreciate it, Learning IT. I appreciate y'all for continuing to support, donate. I can buy cool things like this. And I got way more content. Y'all are going to love the stuff this year. It's going to be amazing this year, y'all. It's going to be amazing. Bootleg Car Studio. Good to see you in the building, man. Queen Mercy said, exactamente. Seeking Him Daily says, I know these white men probably look at black men as a collective, as a pack of useless losers. Well, Seeking Him Daily, I appreciate your comment. I wasn't trying to read that one, but it's too late now. Sherelle said, let me be clear. I have complaints about black men, but I know there's good black men too. Absolutely. There you go. I like that. Jay Richards said, to say they are nerds would be a compliment. They sound severely immature. They are 5 years old emotionally, and they don't like black women. I agree with you, Jay Richards. That would be a compliment. So forgive me, nerds out there, for insulting you. Daily Inspiration said, it's not colorist. Call it what it is. They're being racist. If someone said the same thing about black women, they would call it racist. It's racist, period. Absolutely. Listen, I'll tell you, let me answer the question. If I walk into a place and I don't get the job, but he gets the job, no, that's not racism. It's not racism. If all things are the exact same, right, then it's not racism. If I'm a better person on paper than that person is, and I don't get the job, then that might be racism. Yeah, absolutely. Now we're talking about legit racism now, right? Now we're talking about more than racial bias. Whereas all things being equal and considered the same, right, I would just feel more comfortable. Now we're going, no, all things aren't the same. I know there's a better candidate, but I do not care. So that negative impact on my life is not being had viably, if you will. It's not, it doesn't have an actual, it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Legitimate, right? It's not a legitimate negative reason, or it's not a legitimate reason that I should have a negative outcome or outcourse of that situation, other than an uncontrollable, which is my skin color, right? So to the person who said yes or no, you're partly right, but you're wrong at the same point. Once it's been clear and evidently shown that I am not what I'm being purported to represent, that's when it becomes racism. Right. So when you have let me not say that. Let me be very careful. Let me be very careful in saying that. Right. Let me be very careful in saying that. But aside from that, we're speaking about concepts like jobs. I'm speaking about money and things like that. Let's also understand that whilst I'm talking about jobs and money and things like that, we're speaking about people, right? People. I think that there's a big disconnect that happens on both sides by failing to understand and realize that we're talking about people right now. And this is a very important part and a very important concept of everything that I say and everything that I do. Because once you start talking about people like they're not people, then something very interesting happens. And let me just kind of bring up a concept to you in explaining what I mean. Road rage. Whenever you're in your car and you have this severe instance of anger and rage, it's perplexing when you think about it, because out in society, some of the people that are doing these road rageous activities or whatever it might be would be not the same person inside of that tin can metal vehicle, right? Standing in front of somebody else face to face, smelling their breath, not quarantined 6 feet away or 6 feet apart, right? They wouldn't be that same person that they are inside of that car. Right? They wouldn't be that same person. Not when you're standing in front of me. They're not going to be that same person behind the computer screen. They're not going to be the same person in front of the car. They're not going to be it's going to be completely 1,000% different if they're actually in front of the people. But something interesting happens when you fail to see that it's not a car just magically driving itself. Something interesting happens when you just see a car as its own entity and not a human driving a car, right? And this is why you hear so many crazy instances of road rage. And this is why road rage is such a thing. Road rage, you'll have a situation or an instance where a nice person outside of road rage gets into a bad situation, might even end up taking the person's life, right? Next thing you know, they're crying in court, they're this, they're that. They might have severely hurt a person. These things these things happen all the time, right? Somebody took something too far, right? Because in that instance and in that moment, they tied or they associated the person with that materialistic possession and not that materialistic possession being owned or operated by that person. They saw it as one and the same, right? And so that's kind of what both sides do in this gender war type of thing, in this internet type of thing. It's interesting when you see somebody on the internet, you see their username, you see their picture. Sometimes you don't see their picture, but you almost put a picture of that person in place of whatever type of person is actually saying those comments. Face reveal videos are really, really, really popular because people who get popular on YouTube, people have this misconstrued notion of what they look like, yada, yada, yada. And so they always want to see what their favorite YouTuber who doesn't go and show their face publicly what they look like, because the face reveal is very different from the person that you envisioned online, right? You had built this persona, this online character, this online persona of this person, this content creator, this whatever it might be, offline, and when you see it in real life, it's just very different, right? It's just very different. So the online is a fascinating thing, because just like this road rage effect that we have, where we fail to disassociate the car from the person, we associate them together as one entity. All on YouTube and online, it's the same way, right? It's the same way. We just label everything and everybody as a collective together, which is why you have everybody, okay, just stop dating black men. Okay, everybody just stop dating black women, right? Both sides obviously have wrongs, obviously, right? There's both sides that have wrongs. In my opinion, there's definitely one side more than the other. But the bigger wrong that both sides have in common is the inability to disassociate, once again, the person from the conglomerate. Now, yes, numbers, statistics, all these things exist for a reason. Yeah, we got to study stats. Yeah, we got to look at history. Yeah, we got to do this. Yeah, we got to do that. But the biggest issue right now, and the biggest, most crucial aspect that's going to continue to drive the divide in between your own personal life, the divide between men and women, online and offline, but really I'd say more online than offline, because offline people all want to have sex. And babies are still going to be born because people love having sex. So offline, it's just going to be a bit of a different story. Now, if you're talking about actually having an offline successful marriage, then yeah, that's a bit of a different thing, right? If you're talking about having an offline conservative picket fence family, then yeah, that's a bigger thing, right? It's a bigger thing. So I understand it's a different thing, right? I get that, right? But the conglomerate train of thought, and this is why a lot of black guys do legitimately say, hey, they're doing the same thing that we're doing, right? They're doing the same thing that we're doing. Now, bringing up the concept, okay, so true. So let's just say we don't, whatever it might be. Let's just say we just stopped ragging on all the content creators, just stopped ragging on guys, and all the feminism people and all the women just stopped making videos about guys and yada, yada. Will the guys stop? Will the guys stop? Would they stop? No, they won't stop. No, they won't. White men won't stop at this point being in the manosphere. Black men won't stop being in the black manosphere. No. The war has gone for too long at this point. There have been too many soldiers that have been lost to the war. But once again, I implore you and I ask you, what is your purpose or your inspiration for being on the battlefield to begin with? Because if you're going to fight in this war, right? I'm in it right now. It's just the name of the game. I'm a content creator, so it is what it is, right? But if you're going to fight in this war, if you're going to consume, if you're going to be an active participant in this war, then you're going to need to understand that you're actively participating, right? You're actively participating in something that could have a very negative effect on you, right? And so we've already talked about all of that. Let me get back to my original point. These lights I'm sweating so hard right now. I got the heat on. I can't even, hold on a second. Let me see if I can. Okay, I got it open. All right. The inability to disassociate somebody from something, someone from something. The inability to not see the conglomerate or the person as a part of the conglomerate. All right. When you aren't able to separate or see the person from the conglomerate, then that's what makes a racist person, right? When you aren't able to separate or disassociate the car from the driver, that's what makes a racist person. That's what makes an evil person. That's what makes a hurtful person. That's what makes somebody who's going to do harm to other people in life. I'm saying this because this can happen even to women. This can happen even to yourself. When you start to collectively judge people, I understand that there are bad niggas, that there are a lot of bad niggas in our community. You don't think I get it? I get it more than most people do. I get it. But I'm telling you this message, not to just tell you this message. I'm telling you that I'm bringing this message of the fresh and fit thing, not to just bring you this message, but as you see these messages, to not turn into the very same a person that we're talking about right now. To understand that, yes, this issue that we're having and talking about is very serious. To understand that, yes, we need to build a community of like-minded thinkers. Yes, we need to put pressure both on the mainstream level and on the YouTube level of niggas that are trying to attack our women. Yes, we need to put pressure on the mainstream level and the YouTube level that niggas, that black men, that the leaders of the community need to do better. Absolutely. And we're going to continue to do that. We're just changing the approach right now, right? So you're seeing and you're starting to see that, listen, the message for me hasn't changed, but we're taking a much different approach to this now, right? Because they're taking a different approach to this now. They're not just sitting in the podcast 24/7, talking to the women and their little things or whatnot anymore. No, this is trying to spread out, right? So we're going to go ahead and spread out with it too. All right, we're going to go ahead and spread out with it too. But in order for me to go ahead and spread out with it, I cannot have the majority, I cannot have most of the people that watch me in a very, very, very disassociative mindset. I can't have most of y'all watching who are going to see guests, who are going to see things that on the outside, once again, it's going to be like, damn, why, right? Why? There's a reason why. There's a reason why 1,000,000%, right? There's a reason why 1,000,000%, and that has to happen, okay? That has to happen. I said I was going to look at the comments. I haven't looked at the comments, but thank you so much still for watching. If you haven't watched, like the video, leave a like on this video right here. I'm going to get back to a little bit about what AD is saying in his response and what House Phone said in his response. Then I'll read the comments legitimately. I'm not going to be opening up the panel today. I have a headache. I had a headache before this live stream started. I have a headache right now. I took like 4 Tylenols. I still have a headache. So we're going to wrap this up in the next 10 or 15 minutes. And then if we decide to, on a later stream, we'll have the panel open, right? But I'm not going to be opening up today. Just don't feel that good.
I like, but to say that we're not down with Brown and
that was
when you say Bonquisha,
crazy.
You refer to black women with you put them in the same sentence with ratchet,
and you just putting all these like blanket statements.
You can't. I don't fuck with that.
I couldn't believe it because that's exactly like if you were hanging out with a bunch of racist ass white dudes who thought that they were being funny, talking about.
If you said that, you're dumb.
Yeah. But you would expect to hear a racist white dude say that, right? It sounds kind of crazy because you're watching a fucking Muslim dude and a dude from Barbados have this conversation where they're kind of shitting on their own kind.
That's why this is why black men will always be the least respected. You can say whatever you want. And niggas will hear me say this. They'll call me a coon. You can call me whatever you want. Listen, every other race of men will tell you everything that I told you. You know why? Because they told me. Welcome to Texas. They told me. I'm just telling you, you don't have to believe me, but this is how every other race of men looks at black men. You know why? Because black men have always been the ones to sell themselves out the most, man. It's just a fact. But what Adam 22, what this white boy is saying, what this white man is saying right here is 1,000% correct. You will never hear a white man speak this way about white women. You'll never hear a white man say, oh, white women always gotta, oh, white women are this, white women are that. No, they'll only speak in the terms or the tense of women or our women. They'll never say white women if they're a white man. They'll never say Asian women if they're an Asian man, or Mexican women if they're a Mexican, or Latina women or for a Latino women. No, they're gonna say our women, or they're gonna just dub women affectionately in general, right? Dub the term in general, right? Just women. Only black guys specifically outlaw black women, their own women, from their presence, and popularize this term or idea to the tune of billions of dollars, right? To the tune of billions of dollars, right? It's just the truth. It's just the fact of the matter. This is how other races of men see it.
I just can't believe that they would say that and not realize how bad the reaction was going to be.
Yeah.
How long have they been doing YouTube for?
Like a year or two. Like
Like
not
a couple
that long.
years, like 1 year, 2 years.
You want to know why AD and House Phone really don't have much to say right here? And to be honest, like AD looks more confused than anything. He's just like, yeah, this is so bad. AD doesn't give a damn about that right now. House Phone, the guy on the right hand side, is legitimately being serious right now, right? He's being serious, right? But AD, this guy on the left hand side, he loves Kevin Samuels. All Kevin Samuels does is talk badly about black women, right? That's all he does. So, what's the purpose of this message? Are fresh and fit racist? Absolutely, absolutely. Just the same way a lot of black guys are racist, but the same way that you as a black woman can be racist as well if you're not very careful. Once again, I make these videos to bring light to mainstream media what's going on. I make these videos not to entice you to become or to keep you inside of the gender war, but to give you what's going on, to give you a bit of enlightenment on the subject, but to also give you a solution and the best way to preserve your own mental fortitude, sanctity of mind, your own mental psyche as you go through all of these different types of experiences on a day-to-day basis. The number one thing, yes, things are going on around you. However, still enjoy your life. Absolutely, that there are bad people around you. However, as you're enjoying your life, make sure that you protect it. Go buy some self-defense if you're a woman. Tomorrow, a knife, pepper spray, bear spray, a taser can all be purchased on Amazon legally in all 50 states. If not that, then at least, if not that, or if not a firearm, then at least that. Right. So I make these videos because of that. I also make these videos because I want the pressure for the manosphere. I want the pressure for mainstream media to start seeing these videos a lot more. We're going to be at 1 million views in the next few months, right? Well, 1 million views are starting to get to somewhat of a minor small status, number on YouTube. 1 million views is 1 million views. That's a lot in my opinion, right? So let's get to 2, let's get to 3, let's get to 4, let's get to 5, let's get to 10 million. And just like they were able to, Fresh and Fit was able to reach new people through China Doll being on there, her fans were able to discover Fresh and Fit. I want to have new people, guys and girls, all races of people, discover this content, discover that there are people who are not just completely lost-minded, that there are good people, that there are good women, that there are good men, right? Good black, good men, good women, good men, whatever it might be, right? I want other people to see the message that we have as well as a response to the message that's being, quite frankly, blasted a lot more frequently than my messages right now, right? But thank you for supporting my message, because I have people that support this channel beyond what I could ever ask, beyond what most YouTubers would ever even be able to fathom as far as what support goes. I have so much support on this message, and so I have to keep going with the message. I will keep going with the message. The message is going to keep getting crazier. It's going to keep getting deeper. It's going to keep getting better. It's going to keep growing. I got more content, and I got more equipment that I'm getting ready to order that's on the way right now. But yes, once again, going back to this, you have black women, you have allies out there. There are people going to bat for you right now. There are other men going to bat for you right now. There are other races of people going to bat for you right now. And this will be a message that's pushed to the absolute forefront of society. That's the new trend. And as our trend continues to grow, and as the Manosphere trend slows over the next couple of years, it will take a couple of years, then we'll start to see a little bit more change actually happening on legal levels and things of that nature, right? I'd say 2 to 3 years more than likely, when we start to see things like, people changing laws because black femicide is on that level or whatever it might be, right? We're going to start to see things like like all races of people coming together to support, protecting of women and black women and things of that nature, right? So that is coming. But in order for us to get there, as a collective, as YouTubers, as indie media personnel, we have to push, a message, and not a message that's based off of hatred, right? Because that's not going to get us to the point to where we need to get. No, it's got to be a message that's based off of reality, solutions, and is based off of integrity as well. Everything in the mix of that. And when you have a message that's based off of that, you'll win. I guarantee it. I believe it. I believe it. So let me look at some of y'all's comments. Comments. So much facts. Kelvin Spencer, good to see you back in the building. Kelvin, Organic Black in the building. Organic Black moderating. Love Organic Black. Sweet Onyx, a.k.a. Rare Gem. I had an ex named Onyx. I remember her because Onyx was one of my favorite Pokemon. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. I know it's my destiny. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon. No one will hear us if we're pumping hatred and slurs. Yeah, when you just end up being a oh, geez, I can't believe I just said that. I'm going to have to edit that out. When you just end up being a bad person, a mean person, a mean person all the time, niggas ain't going to hear you. Nobody's going to hear you. Other races of people aren't going to hear you, right? You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be like, oh, you're just a loud black woman. You know what I mean? It ends up doing more damage. And so, yeah, the worst part about it, though, is that a lot of them have legitimate grievances. A lot of the ladies have legitimate. I know I'm trash. I'm absolute trash. I'm going to get fired up. They're going to be like, the honest truth. Best with you. So I'm going to get fired. It's all right, though. At this point, there's not much more, fortunately, anybody can do to me. Thank God. Marquis says, well, one thing, THT, you carry a tune better than that coach guy. Come on, Marquis. My nigga. So, yeah, even if you're saying good stuff, people aren't going to hear you. They're going to be like, nah, you just sound like an angry, nah, you sound like you're argumentative. You know what I mean? Now, the question's going to be, they're going to be, well, truth, do you think that they were going to change in the first place? Probably not, to be honest with you, right? Probably not. But some will. And once again, that's why I want to be very careful going forward, because there are a couple of good brothers on this channel, man. We got some good brothers on this channel, right? And we want to keep it that way, right? We don't want a brother being like, man, truth, you've been talking about the black man for a long time. I'm trying to roll with you. You just make it a little bit harder for me, and I want to get, tied into everything. And, you don't want somebody to be coming to the channel and being like, hey, truth, is good to be here. And then somebody in the chat's like, get away, Naker. You know what I mean? Or something crazy like that. It's like, ah, dang. Godly, now he might actually become a part of the Manosphere because he was trying to come correct. You called him a Naker. I know, and I know the term Naker isn't specifically meant to just, I'm not trying to throw shade, because I do love the person that made that term up. Very talented. Anyways, listen, y'all, I got to run. I'm out. Listen, thehonesttruthyt@gmail.com. I actually don't even have the outro video. I love you. What else do I need to talk about right now? Listen to the music. Get ready to buy the album. Yeah, that's going to be it. I'll be back tomorrow. Pre-recorded video. Take care. thehonesttruthyt@gmail.com. Send me an email. Somebody sent me a comment. They said I look like I do hair and nails or something like that. And so I'm just going to say thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. Anyways, y'all, I'm out. Take care. Abrupt ending, but my head hurts, so I'm out. Good night, y'all.